Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jake from today'siphone.com, and we have the new iPad right here, and we have the iPad 2 right here, and we're just going to take a look at the differences between the two devices. Okay, so the first difference between these devices physically, of course, is the thickness of the two. Now, if you look at them like this is the new iPad, this is the iPad 2, and you really can't see much of a difference at all. I mean, the difference in the thickness is negligible. I will say that holding the new iPad in your hand, it's definitely noticeably heavier than the iPad 2. It's not much, but you can tell that it's heavier, and that, of course, is to accommodate the battery, which is up to 70% larger than that in the iPad 2. And this is, gone to power the Retina display and the A5X processor and the 4G technology. Now, just to give you a little idea of how thick it is, I have here a back case for the iPad 2. It's compatible with a smart cover. So let me just... It pops right on the iPad 2, like that. And then you have all of the cutouts perfectly lined up. And, oh, there's me. Hi. Alright, so I got the case off the iPad 2, and now I'm just going to show you how it looks on the new iPad. Now, as you can see, the top goes in fine, whatever, but when you try to fit in the two bottom pieces, or the bottom corners, it doesn't quite fit in. It almost does, but you can see it just is a little bit too thick for it. So that's really the difference between the thickness in the iPad 2 and the new iPad. Honestly, unless you're holding both of them side by side to compare them, you probably won't notice the difference at all. Moving on, the biggest attraction of the new iPad is, of course, the brilliant Retina display. And I don't know if it's coming through on here, but we have the new iPad on top and we have the iPad 2 underneath, and you can see in person, I'm not sure if you can see right here, that the icons, the text, the brightness, the background, everything is so much crisper and clearer and cleaner and sharper on the new iPad. I forgot what it was like when I opened up the iPhone 4 for the first time and I saw the Retina display. Comparing that to the 3GS, it was a huge difference, and it's definitely just as much of a difference on the iPad. The size of the screen, coupled with its clarity, really makes the display to beat in the tablet world. It's definitely a type of thing that you have to see to believe. Okay, so another major attraction of the new iPad is, of course, the A5X processor, which is supposed to be faster than the A5 processor running in the iPad 2. So let's open up some applications and see how this baby runs. So first we got Safari. I mean, pretty decent. Both of these were running in the background. We got, the zooming is good on both. Of course, zoom in and you get clearer text with the new iPad just because of the Retina display. We got scrolling. That looks pretty good. I mean, what we're seeing is pretty even. I mean, to me, both of these devices seem pretty fast. The A5X processor is really going to help with intensive gaming and watching videos and stuff like that. But for the everyday things, like the stuff that I was just doing, you're not going to notice that much of a difference between the iPad 2 speed and the iPad new speed. And finally, we have the different cameras. The iPad 2 camera, you can see, is clearly smaller. The new iPad camera has more of the sensors in it that make the iPhone 4S camera shine. It also has a higher megapixel count at 5. And it's just a better camera overall. And the new iPad camera isn't great, but it's a huge step above what the iPad 2 was offering. Okay, well, this was just a quick overview of some of the new features in the new iPad versus the iPad 2. We will be covering everything in much more detail in a post on today'siphone.com, so definitely check that out. Link in the description down below. And you can stay in contact with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the site. So we're going to have a ton of coverage on the new iPad, so definitely stay tuned to that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you soon.